coming up for St. Louis. Under 6 to play. Bettis, he did not get a first down.
That is a huge play for Marty Carter, the Bears' strong safety.
And on 4th and 1, the Rams are going to go for it.
Carter comes in from the right side. Bettis has his momentum taken away, but Carter absolutely polishes him off. Takes Bettis on, takes Bettis' head right into his chest.
4th down for St. Louis. Wolfley again, and another first down for the Rams. He came in with no carries today. He'll leave with 2 big first downs.
The second time we've seen the Rams on 4th down trick the Bears defense, go away from their tendency. First time on the goal line, they lined up, made it look like run, and they passed. This time they line up, and you think they're going to give it to their runner. They give it to their special teams guy, Ron Wolfley.
What a day for these two offenses, and a fresh set of downs for St. Louis. Bettis the lone setback. Drayton out of bounds, shy of the first down. Donnell Wolford there for Chicago.
At the end of the game, I'll select the Miller Player Light Player of the game.
Try that again.
At the end of the game, I'll select the Miller Lite Player of the game.
Very nice. Well done.
Thank you very much.
You can write. We know that.
I can write. I can't read.
Leonard Russell in the backfield along with Marv Cook. 2 tight ends into the game for St. Louis. Second and short. Russell. First and goal, St. Louis.
This game is all up to this Bears defense. There's 8 yards to go. There are 4 downs. If the Bears defense holds and the Rams kick, the Bears can still win it with a touchdown. If the Rams go in for a score, it looks bad, real bad.
4:16 to go in this one. First and goal, St. Louis from the 8. Bettis. Great work by the Chicago defense. Fontenot is there, along with Flanagan and Vincent Smith.
There's one win for Dave Wannstedt and the Bears defense. Normally you'd think now they've got to win 2 more, but with Rich Brooks and his 4th down antics and 4th down success today, you have to be thinking as Dave Wannstedt that you have to defend 3 more plays.
Second down and goal. From the 6. Bettis down to the 2. Nothing fancy for the Rams, Tim. They're just lining up and coming right at the Chicago defense.
And the Rams offense showing real versatility today in that we saw Miller with those great long balls, the passes to different receivers, and now the run game when they need it is there.
And with 3:01 to go, the Chicago Bears have spent their first of 3 timeouts here in the second half, of 42nd timeout. 3rd and goal from just inside the 2.
And when you're down there and you're on the goal line, your back's to the wall, you're in the dirt, it's an ugly situation. You see Flanagan down there, he's churning, he's got a big Lonecker, 340-pounder on top of him, on his legs, dust and dirt in his face. That's where you earn your paycheck as a defensive lineman. That's being in the trenches. And now Flanagan and the rest of those Bears got to get ready for another one.
3rd down and goal. Rams leading by 3 with 3:01 to go.
You talk about Flanagan on the goal line. You have to remember the play earlier where he sent Russell back home when Russell tried to come through that line. So Flanagan will be playing it.
Rams in the red zone, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, 3rd and goal. Russell, and there is nothing there. Dwayne Joseph from the secondary on the toss, and this time the Rams do not fool Chicago.
Joseph does an excellent job of anticipating. He's already moving upfield when that ball is snapped. He makes this play. That's outstanding anticipation.
Now the Bears spend their 2nd of 3 timeouts. And with 2:46 to go, they will try to ice this kicker, the rookie, Steve McLaughlin. And remember this, the Rams changed holders this week to try to calm down McLaughlin. The holder was Chris Miller. Now it'll be Mark Rippon.
Yes, and just as important as icing this young rookie kicker, Dave Wannstedt knows that if anybody is going to try to run a fake field goal, a fake in the kicking game, it's Rich Brooks. He knows Rich Brooks has that history. He had that history in Oregon for 18 years when Rich Brooks was almost always an underdog team, and he got very used to taking chances.
25-yard field goal try for McLaughlin. 1 for 1 today, 4 out of 8 for the year. McLaughlin, that was huge. For the Rams, that means a 6-point lead. 2:42 left. The Bears left with 1 timeout. And just what we talked about at the start, it's up to this Rams defense and the Chicago Bears led by Erik Kramer, who has had a fantastic afternoon.
Now it will be very interesting to see how Willie Shaw, the Rams defensive coordinator, plays this strategy at this situation in the game. He's got a defense that is predicated on being aggressive and putting heat on the quarterback, heat up front. Now what does he do? Does he send the blitz, send his guys after Kramer, or drop into coverage and play it safe?
.242 to go, and the Bears will get it back. Miller out of the game. A 10-play drive covering 57 yards and over 4 minutes off the clock. McLaughlin good from 25, and the Rams lead by 6. Timpson from the 15. Across the 25, and that was it. Down at the 27. Homko there for St. Louis. An 11-yard return for Michael Timpson. Coming up later, Arizona at Dallas. Second half of our doubleheader. 2:33 to go. 1 timeout remaining for Chicago, and they have got to put the ball into the end zone to win it.
And whatever the outcome of this game is, I think people around the NFL know that this St. Louis Rams team is for real.
Over the middle, Graham, not much. Carlos Jenkins again.
Well, the Bears offense has time, but they don't have that much time. They're going to have to hurry and get that ball to the receivers deeper.
Second down. Kramer incomplete through the hands of Dorn, in and out of the hands of Graham, and now a penalty flag, and this is in the area of roughing the passer.
And as you mentioned earlier, again, through the hands of Torin Dorn. That's the third ball.
Foul. Roughing the passer. 15 yards in the first down.
Tim, the Rams were the beneficiaries of one of these calls week 2 against New Orleans, which helped them beat the Saints. Yeah. And here a late hit cost him 15 yards.
It's DeMarco Farr, and what he does is he body slams Kramer. He gets a hold of him, the ball's gone, and it's the twist and the throwdown, and that's the wrestling move that draws the flag.
So a first down from their own 47. Kramer hit, incomplete. DeMarco Farr makes up, and now Kramer is down.
Great response by DeMarco Farr after costing his defense 15 yards. He just works. Todd Berger comes up behind, and you talk about hurting a quarterback. A quarterback would rather be hit high than be hit low, the way DeMarco Farr just hit Erik Kramer.
Second down and 10 with 2:04 to go. 6 defensive backs into the game for St. Louis. Quick slant, incomplete. Timpson. And we'll have one more play before the 2-minute warning. And it will be a big 3rd and 10 coming up for the Bears.
The Rams defense could not have Erik Kramer in a better position for them. That being, Kramer's going to have to drop back wherever he goes. He's going to end up in that slippery dirt. They couldn't have scripted it better.
3rd down and 10. The ball at the Chicago 47. Big rush. Carter out of the backfield, swarm. And the rookie Skurlock with a big first hit. And with 1:49 to go, the Bears will be faced with a 4th and 7. 2-minute warning, actually 1:49 to go. Maybe one more play to go for the Chicago offense. 4th and 7 when we come back.
A real factor today, Charlie, is going to be that heat. It is warm down on that surface. I was just down there about 20 minutes ago. The key for the Chargers, like we mentioned earlier, if they can get Means going, if they can physically take control up front, they can wear this Denver Broncos defense down.
Not a cloud in the sky. Very sunny, and as you said, very warm. And on the field, as we look down from high above San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, it'll be close to 100 degrees before the afternoon is over.
Yeah, and don't buy all that sea breeze stuff you hear about San Diego either. Back here in Mission Valley, inside this stadium, it doesn't get in here a whole lot.
No, we're inland. Jason Elam to kick it away, and we are underway. Here is Coleman from the 5. He's to the 15, the 20. And is hit, spins away, breaks the tackle. Flag is down, 45, 50, down the sideline, 30. He cuts back, 20, 10, 5, end zone, flag down.
They're going to mark him out, Charlie, on the 41-yard line.
But also a flag back at the 29. 95 yards if it stands. Holding, they'll bring it back.
Gedney. He's the big target, and even though he's a tight end, he has as sure a hands as any player on this Bears offense.
4th and 7 for Chicago. Gedney, number 84. He's been silent most of the season. We'll see. 5 defensive backs into the game for St. Louis on 4th down. Over the middle, short of a first down, and this game is over. A 1:40 to go, and the Bears left with only one timeout, and the defense holds. And Tim, I'll throw this out to you. You pick Gedney, And Gedney was wide open on this play.
Here he is here. He's in the slot. Kramer slips, goes to the short receiver, and we'll try to get another look at it. There's Gedney, 84, and he is just flat wide open. He gets the ball, he goes for 6.
Instead, Carlos Jenkins there again. He hasn't missed much today. Miller will head off, and the Rams will run out the clock, trying to hold on to the football. That's priority number 1 for St. Louis. Bettis to the 50. And remember, the Bears are left with only 1 timeout. They will use it here. A pickup of 5 by Bettis on that first carry. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the St. Louis Rams and the National Football League is prohibited.
Chris Miller leaving this stadium. He's going to be our Miller Lite player of the game. When you put those kind of numbers up, 3 touchdowns, he really directed this Rams offense today.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Erik Kramer, a career high in yards in the air, 311. Touchdowns with 4. But if the Rams can hang on to the football, a long day and a great effort by Erik Kramer will be all for naught. The Rams trying to start 4-0, Tim. The Bears, if they don't come up with something miraculous, will end up 2-2. Bettis into Chicago territory. 1:25 and counting.
This has really been a spectacular game in that, as we said, we thought it was going to be a run battle, a defensive battle, but it's turned out to be a high-scoring offensive battle with both quarterbacks having great days.
The Blockbuster Video Blimp is based in Orlando, Florida, and we look forward to seeing the Blockbuster Blimp at future Fox Sports events. Thanks for the great coverage. 3rd down for St. Louis. Under a minute to go and counting. Bettis just happy to hang on. Now on 4th down, the Rams will bring on the punt unit. Today's game is being produced by Mike Burks and directed by Joe Assetti. Great work, gentlemen. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill, and helping us up here in the booth, Gary Lynn and Ethan Cooperson. 15 seconds and counting. The Rams will spend a timeout now, and the only hope that is left for Chicago, and it's not a dim hope, a block punt. They've blocked one in each of the last 2 weeks. But you know what Landeta, the veteran, will do. He'll get it and get rid of it.
Landeta gets rid of the ball better than any other punter in the league. But remember this, when you go all-out block, they're not going to, but if you put 11 guys up, because I see Jeff Graham going back, you put 11, you've only got 10 to block, so one guy has to come free. The only other hope is the Stanford band.
Jim Price is the long snapper.
I don't see the band.
They are tucked away. Landeta will get it and get rid of it. Graham is back deep for Chicago. Quick 1 step. Good punt. And this is the final play of the day. The Rams will start the 1995 season 4-0. So for Tim Green, this is Joe Buck saying so long from Busch Stadium, where the final score is St. Louis 34, Chicago 28. Be sure to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League. The message today, the National Football League is alive and well in St. Louis, and the Rams start out 4-0. Have a great afternoon.
It is up. You got to call your uncle about tickets for the...
Along with Matt Millen, Dick Stockton, the Philadelphia Eagles have marched 73 yards on the opening drive of the game, capped by a 7-yard touchdown run by Charlie Garner to take a 7-0 lead over the Raiders. Gary Anderson with a low end-over-end kick. And Rocket Ismail returning inside the 10-yard line, getting a good return for the Raiders. And Steve Hendrickson, who was just added to help the special teams force for the Eagles, made the tackle after a return of 30.
Now, see, the first strategy that they tried to do with special teams was pin the kickers from sideline to sideline.
Jeff Hostetler, who has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the first 3 games. Robert Jenkins, Steve Wisniewski, Dan Turk, Kevin Gogan, and Greg Skrepenak, a pretty big offensive line. Williams, Fenner, the blocking back. Brown and Ismail, the wide out. Terry Cash, the tight end. First play is to Napoleon Kaufman, who starts in the backfield, and Kaufman with a good cut gets 4 yards. William Thomas brings him down. The Eagles defense, number 1 pick Mike Mamula, undersized as a defensive end. Gunn, Harmon, and Fuller. Fuller, their top player up front. William Thomas, Kurt Govea, and Bill Romanowski, the linebackers. And a change in the secondary. Eric Zomalt is starting in place of the injured Michael Zordich, who's out with a groin injury. Hard count. Flag is down on 2nd and 6. The pass is complete to Darrell Hobbs. Hostetler trying to draw the Eagles off on a hard count, picked up 11 yards. And it appears to be a penalty against Philadelphia, and it is. So that'll be a first down. There's Hostetler's numbers so far this year.
And you look at Jeff Hostetler and you look at this offense, and when you speak with Jeff Hostetler,
by the defense, the right defensive end. The penalty is declined, the play results in a first down.
Now, when you speak with Hostetler, it's almost a godsend. You know, he was saying, I can't take another year of 7-step drops and holding the ball and waiting for the guy to get open. He said, I couldn't take the beating anymore. So he actually thinks this is a perfect fit for him.
First down on the 48-yard line of the Eagles. And the pitch to Kaufman, the number 1 pick for the Raiders. Nearly knocked behind the line of scrimmage by Romanowski and picked up 6 yards before Mark McMillan make the play.
You know, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and you see the difference with Charlie Garner. Well, number 26 right here, he's the difference for this Raiders team. The Kaufman. Napoleon Kaufman looks like the same guy as Charlie Garner. A little tighter, a little more compact, but he's got the great quickness and he's got that magic we were talking about.
And I think the running backs on both teams mirror each other.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Where you going, Govea?
2nd and 4. 2 tight ends, and here comes the blitz. And the quick toss to Terry Cash. Answering the blitz, Hostetler deeper into Eagle territory, gets 5 yards, and Zomalt makes his first play.
Yeah, an interesting call by Ray Rhodes. You see, what's happening now with offenses is that teams are having a tough time once they get down inside the red zone in that 20. So what they're doing is offenses are trying to take their shot from about the 30-35 so they have more of a field to work with. Ray Rhodes counters right now by putting the quick pressure to still make them work slowly down the field and make their own mistakes.
Raiders will come out with 3 wide receivers. Darrell Hobbs, the 3rd. First down on the 38 of the Eagles. And the pass is intercepted by Govea. And the middle linebacker causes and picks up the first turnover of the game. Good rush on Jeff Hostetler. Nearly knocked down as he threw the pass, and the first turnover of the game, and the Eagles get the ball.
Dick, I got to tell you, there was great coverage downfield. Hostetler wanted to go out to the flat, but it was not there. And then he got the pressure up inside, forced him to throw the ball, and Govea, who's just playing center field underneath, makes a great play. You know, watch, first of all, you're going to get the pressure up inside. And it's Fuller just goes right by Skrepenak. And then Skrepenak and Hostetler are down, and Hostetler stays with it. This is a sign of a good quarterback, you know. That's a tough guy. You know, you may make a mistake, but you come back and you make a plus.
A personal foul has been tacked onto the play.
You see the pressure. Now watch Gavea just hanging inside. See, it's a matchup zone. He was trying to get to the tight end. Nice coverage all the way around. The key to that whole coverage was Bill Romanowski out in the flat. He wanted to throw the ball out there. Romanowski jumped it. It wasn't there, and Gavea makes the pick.
So the veteran for several years with the Washington Redskins, now in his 9th year. Remember, Byron Evans manned the middle linebacking pass position.
The interception, there was a personal foul, illegal block below the waist by the passing team, number 22. That's a 15-yard penalty that's added to the end of the run. Philadelphia will keep the ball. First down.
I don't get that one. I never heard of a team that threw the interception trying to throw a block.
That was running back Harvey Williams.
Heck, it was probably out of fear. You don't throw blocks. You may be ducking to get out of the way of somebody.
That's going to be a very costly penalty, and Mike White really upset with the head linesman George Hayward, because that will add 15 more yards and will give the Eagles possession just inside the 35-yard line of the Raiders.
Well, that whole thing was made again by the backers. Bill Romanowski outside in the coverage, and then Kurt Gavea, who has a great feel for pass coverage inside.
Big opportunity for the Eagles, already in front 7-0. Handoff is to Ricky Waters. Waters can't carry the ball enough to suit him.
I want you to watch up in the top left hand of your screen, number 22. He's going to come into your picture, Harvey Williams. See, right up here. This is on Bill Romanowski. Romanowski's going to make the tackle, and I was right. See, that was out of fear. He just didn't want to get killed, and they called that an illegal block, when in fact all he was doing was ducking to get out of the way.
2nd down and 8 on the Raider 32. And a play fake, pressure on Cunningham, and his pass is caught by Calvin Williams.
Pass is complete.
And a first down. So right now it looks as if Randall Cunningham understands this West Coast offense to a T, and a gain of 15 yards.
Well, what they did, they came this way, and then you're going to see McDaniel will go inside like he's coming on a blitz. Eddie Anderson, the safety, has to come all the way across the field, and that's what Cunningham sees. Once he sees that corner jump up, he knows that's a long way for the safety to get to, so you just hit Williams out there.
Anderson, the veteran. Williams with 3 catches for 49 yards last week against the Chargers. First down on the 17, and on the delay, Ricky Waters. And that did not fool the middle of the line, nor Eddie Anderson, the free safety who came up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, and anytime you see a safety like Anderson up at the line of scrimmage, that means that A, they're either very aggressive or they're starting to play 8-man fronts down here. And if they start walking their safety up, that limits them in coverage behind them. And so then the counter to that is to start hitting your seams with your wideout.
2nd down and 9. Cunningham on the Raiders 16.